The Florida Podcast Network, the voice of Florida.
And hello, everybody, and welcome to Beach Talk Radio for Saturday, February the 9th, 2019. My name is Ed Ryan, along with my wife, Kimmy.
No Kimmy.
And you heard that right. We are now part of the Florida Podcast Network, which means, of course, we've hit the big time. We are worldwide now. So
That's right.
from now on, just call me Mr. Worldwide.
How about Florida-wide?
We'll have more on the Florida Podcast Network a little later on in the hour, so stay tuned for that. And as always, when the temperature is about 60 degrees, we're coming to you live from outside Pete's Timeout on Fort Myers Beach.
60 degrees.
Well, when it was less than 60,
I was
going to
say.
because it's
Oh.
too cold. So it is a lovely day down here. The Pete's Timeout area is packed already. There's standing room only for crowds. And just to let you all know, you can watch the show on Facebook or listen on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, the Beach Talk Radio app, Pocket Casts, or the Spreaker app. What's the first question that we always get when people walk up to this area here that looks like show business?
Is this a radio station?
Right. How can I listen? What dial position are you on? Or check this out. You can tell Alexa to listen to Beach Talk Radio on iHeartRadio. I just set off everybody's device
You
in their
did.
house.
They're so thrilled.
Video of all the shows.
All three people.
Yeah. It's up to 5 now. Video of all the shows are archived on Facebook and YouTube,
Morning.
and all audio is archived on Beach Talk Radio. Feel free to support the show as always. You'll see a nice little support button there. We have a lovely show. It's packed today, dear. We have tons of things to talk about. Just one more thing. Every week we're picking up new listeners and viewers, and that's because our regulars are sharing the page and sharing all our information. So
Yes, we appreciate that. Want to thank everybody who shares it and likes it and all that good stuff.
So the topic for today, for a good part of the show, is going to be the homeless situation that's
Correct.
going on at Fort Myers Beach. If you didn't get a chance to listen to the special audio-only episode we did, it's up on the website. 39 it is, and you can go on the website and click it and listen to my interview with the folks down from God's Table, which was a great interview. Thank you
It
very
was?
much. And they do no. What I meant to say was they do a great job down there.
Was that a plug for validation? I mean, I don't know.
Somebody's got to give me some. So we're going to be talking to Jan O'Brien in a little bit, and some other folks about that topic, which is really, it's become the number one topic on the beach right now.
Yes, it is the topic du jour.
Although it's not only a local topic. This
It
is
isn't,
a
no.
topic that people are faced with in every city, small city, major city, across the country. And so we're going to address it right now. And I know you'll be back there. We have plenty of stuff to talk about. So right now we're going to introduce Kenny. So Kenny, here you go. Let me give you that microphone. We're going to.
By the way, dear,
Yes. Oh, sorry. Jan Fleming is going to be
joining
us.
I want my wedding ring, by the way, but because since you said Kenny.
Oh no, I said Kimmy. So you say hello to everybody. Kenny.
Hi, folks. How are you?
So Ken's going to get nice and close there, and folks, Kenny he lives on the beach.
Yes, I do.
You're considered homeless,
Yes, I am.
and you've been here since 1991. So
Yes,
let's
sir.
start with that. Tell us how long, not how long, we know you've been here since 1991, but how you came down here, why you're here, and, where you're staying.
In 1990, I came down on spring break with a friend of mine whose dad lives down here. He's a physical therapist. And afterwards, the next year, 91, after I graduated from college, I decided to move back down here. And it was primarily because of spring break.
Okay.
And I've not been homeless except for the past year and a half because of the greedy land developers down here that are tearing down everything.
So before we talk about that, Kenny,
Yeah.
so where are you staying? And your girlfriend is here too.
Yes, she is.
Her name is
Lynn.
Lynn, and
Lenny and Kenny. Where
Okay.
it's easy to remember.
people know you down here.
Yes,
You've been
they
down
do.
here a while. So where do you stay?
We're staying different. We couch hop from places, and then other times we have a couple little hidey spots.
Yeah.
I guess so to speak.
Yeah. How are you staying warm at night?
Not really.
Okay. So talk about the folks at Chapel by the Sea and God's Table. How
They
helpful
are
they are.
absolutely a fabulous situation that if these people want to get rid of, all it will do will make things worse.
What do you mean? Why?
If they take what little bit away from the people that are down here, they're still going to come down here regardless. So, but they're very important to us as a community.
Now, you get food over there. You get a shower if you need it,
Yeah,
and it's 5 days a week.
yeah.
So, one of the other things that is going on is that obviously Dr. Hammerding
Yes, that's horrifying.
got murdered by somebody that
Yes.
was homeless, and now you feel like everybody is being targeted.
Yes, we are.
And how is that? How is it? How is it
It's
happening?
just this, because they see us. We cannot sit at bus stops anymore, and I like sitting at the bus stops just to do the license plate game. Have you ever done that?
I don't think so.
Okay.
What is that?
Well, just looking at everybody from different states as the cars are going by.
And you keep track of the different states. Well,
Yeah.
what's the number one state?
The only one that I have not met yet is Hawaii.
Okay.
And there's a couple of Canadian ones. The Yukon State and Northwest Territories State.
Yeah.
But those are the only ones that I have not seen.
Okay.
But, all we're doing is sitting there. We're not causing any problems. We are not panhandlers. But we're all grouped together. What happened with Dr. Hammerding?
Well, can you understand how the residents feel that they
Yes.
feel like,
Yes,
somebody
I do.
opens their back door and somebody's sleeping on their
Yes,
back?
I understand that, and I agree.
So what do you think is the happy medium or some kind of solution to
There
you want
isn't
the
going to be
residents-
one. There will never be one, I don't believe. To be honest with you, Ed, I don't believe there will ever be one,
Why do you say that?
because they're trying to get this lady. I don't want to say her name,
Thank you.
but you've read it in the paper and you know who I'm talking about. And
You don't think they're trying to round up all the homeless people?
yes,
and do
they
what?
are. It's a witch hunt.
And do what?
They're trying to get rid of us for any reason. Starting on Monday, what I have heard, anybody that gets caught with an open container is going to jail. Does that include the tourists?
Well, it would have to if that's the rule, right?
You'd think, wouldn't you? It's not true, sir.
Well, how do you feel like that they're only going to
It's-
look for you guys to?
Yes. We are being, don't judge a book by its cover, sir.
Okay.
All right?
What do you want? What do you want the residents to know about you and about some of your friends?
Well, fortunately, since as long as I've lived here, I know a lot of people, and I have safe places to stay. And that is something that should be known. Do not judge all of us by a book by its cover. And Dr. Hammerding would approve of that message.
Do you think that it would have been the right thing to do for the first man who had his throat slit to tell the cops who it was?
He did not know.
Really?
at the time. I said something that I thought that he was a possible.
But that's not enough for the police to.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And
Do you think? Let me ask you this, Kenny. Do you think that the residents should be worried about anybody else that's homeless that might snap?
right now, no. But not right now, no. This lady that I will not mention her name, who's been mentioned in all the editorials, you know, there's no way to say that somebody will not cross that bridge that is to this level. You cannot, you know, like I said, you can't judge a book by its covers, Ed.
Yeah. How many homeless people or people without? I don't even know if I'm allowed to. I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings by saying
All right.
they're homeless, but
so what? We don't care.
Okay.
We're only homeless by certain various reasons, money wise, basically.
but you do get some kind of
Yeah.
check from
Yeah, and we
somewhere.
don't ask nobody for nothing.
Sure.
We don't panhandle. We don't do any of that.
So do you ever see some of the people that don't have a home panhandling?
Yes.
Okay. Well.
All the time.
Well. Do you ever say something to them? Knock it off. You're ruining it for everybody.
Well, we do, but what's I might as well talk to that palm tree.
Okay.
You know.
What? Do you guys try and find jobs or stuff like that? How's
My
that going?
problem is my girlfriend.
Yeah.
She has very bad epilepsy.
Okay.
And I'm pretty injured myself. You want to see my scar on the back of my head?
Uh-huh.
You see it?
Yep.
I cannot work full time.
Right.
My balance is off because of that, and I have to take care of her. So why should I go work to pay for somebody to take care of her half of my minimum wage job that I would get, to pay them half of it and pay Uncle Sam the other half?
Mm-hmm.
That makes no sense.
Okay. Anything else you want to tell the people before? I really appreciate you coming down, and
Well,
I know you don't get down this way a
what
lot.
I've said to you has meant something.
Yeah.
Because we don't do anything. We try to stick to ourselves. And are you going to be back here next Saturday?
Every Saturday at 9
Then
o'clock.
I will come back next Saturday.
Is the community safe?
Pretty much. You know what? This lady that says there's this homeless code, we don't know what she's talking about. She's out of her mind. I invite her to come join us and see what these churches provide.
All right. Well, listen, thank you so much for coming on. I
Hey, man.
appreciate it.
Thanks, Ed.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks. Right
See ya.
on, man.
See you.
All
Good,
right.
good luck with everything.
Yeah.
That is Kenny, folks. He lives down
Thank
here on the
you.
beach. He's been down here on the beach since 1991, and
January 6th, 91.
appreciate him
Wow.
coming down to hang out with us for a little while and tell us what's going on. Always two sides to a story, and
Or three.
yeah, or three. And so Jan's going to come on and join us now. Come on down. Jan's got a broken. She's got a broken wheel there. You know how she broke her leg?
No,
I do.
don't.
Yeah, she broke her leg delivering cookies. So come on over, Jan, and Jan's going to join
I'm
us now.
gonna
I'm going to
switch.
set the stage here a little bit. I saw
Okay.
I saw
Yeah.
Jan at the town council meeting.
Yes.
This Monday, and she got up on stage, She got up to. It feels like a stage sometimes. It seems like up at the council chambers, and she wanted to voice her opinion about things that are going on in the community. And she also works at the library, but I know she's here as a citizen of Fort Myers Beach. So we're going to hand her that, and you're going to take over. Thank you very much.
Okay, well, welcome, Jan.
Thank you, Kim.
Fleming. So we
Yes.
get it
That's okay.
correct.
He had my maiden name. That's okay.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for joining
My
us
pleasure.
here today. So let's talk a little bit about your comments at the council. They had kind of two-pronged homeless situation and the police department situation, which I thought was an interesting proposition. What would you like to share with us today from those recent comments?
Well, I've been employed by the library as a greeter, and I'm also there quite often as a volunteer.
Okay.
And first, I'd like to say that Dr. Hummerding couldn't have been more kinder, gentler, welcoming to all patrons, including the homeless. He had rules for everyone, and everyone, if you didn't abide by them,
Right.
he wouldn't boot you out. You know, he would nicely say, "We don't want you sleeping in here. If you want to smoke, you go out to the off property."
Right.
And basically everyone abided by those rules, and therefore everyone was welcomed. My first comment at the town council meeting pertained to the homeless. My heart goes out to them. I believe that they need help, and my concern was if they need mental health, that needs to be provided. And
Right.
I know that's a hot topic all over the United States, the lack of mental health.
Right.
There's a difference between enabling and aiding, and someone had written a letter about
Right,
that,
I
and
saw
I
that.
quoted him, and I thought he put it, very well. We want to help people, but why not try to make them, if possible, contributing citizens, whether it's part-time employment or just being a volunteer?
I think that is a great point, and I think it goes back to also the statement, give a man a fish, you feed him for a day, teach him how to fish, you feed him for life. And for those who are able
Exactly.
to give people some dignity through work or through volunteering and through giving back. And I think that is a good point, and that it is important to remember that there's just a variety of folks who find themselves in those unfortunate situations.
Right, and a perfect example is we have a giant book sale, as you all know, four
Right.
times a year, November, January, February, and March. And on Friday morning, in fact, this coming Friday, starting at 9:15, we'll be unpacking books. If anyone, homeless, not homeless, anyone is able to join us and unpack books, we would be so thrilled. And on Sunday at 2 o'clock, we pack them back up. So, I think that would be a great opportunity if they feel like they're getting a bad rap and they're able to do it. I understand they're
Right.
not physically all able to do it, but we welcome anyone who can help us.
And that, yes, anyone in the community who wants to come
Exactly.
down and help support the library
Right.
is
Right.
welcome to come down. Now, you talked about the police, and I thought that was an interesting point. Can you share that with us?
Yes, I just wanted to throw it out to the council to research. And I think this is a great time to do it with 3 positions open. Is it 3?
On
2.
the council?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And, maybe one of them will take off on the platform. I personally, prior to the murder, had no issues with the sheriff.
Right.
We have called them on different occasions. They have responded, and if they couldn't, they called back and said, it was never a real emergency. It was just, we need you to check this out. And so they were very, responsive. My point is, if we pay on a general basis for 2 deputies to be on the island, but we pay extra for all special events, for spring break.
Ugh.
I know that when we hire a deputy for the library, it's $48 an hour, a minimum of 4 hours.
Okay.
So I'm just saying, go to that line item in your budget. How much in a year do we give to Lee County?
Right.
Compare it possibly to having our own department. And what a better time than now with the fire department looking for land to build a new fire department. Now, they're separate entities.
Right.
The fire department is their own district, their own taxing agency. This would come under town, but why not share a building and then share the costs? Another thing I thought about after being a town council, there's a small community outside of Dayton, Ohio, and they have a safety force. Their firemen are their police. They are trained for both.
Oh,
And
dual purpose.
Exactly. So maybe, I don't know if Chief Love would go for that, but I mean, we have to think of something.
Well, I think it's the idea, to think outside the box.
Exactly.
Generate some ideas of other things that are going on in other communities that are working there that might work here for the folks who live here to provide the very best protection and safety, the very best services that can be provided for all individuals on the
Correct.
beach.
Correct. I agree.
Dear, do you have some comments? Oh, you're kind of pushing in over here. Well, thank you so much for coming on.
You're welcome.
I know that we also wanted to talk a little bit about, I almost forgot, I said I wouldn't, the Lions Club.
Could you hand me the box? Yes, I got in. I'm not a lionette, but I got in.
A lionette or a lioness?
A lioness, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
Lionette would probably be a dancer. But I got involved with the Lions simply through the Alliance for Nonprofits, which I'm a part of. And the president of the Lions Club came to one of our meetings, told us about this event that they're sponsoring. And so I kind of, took over and got the advertising and, trying to get the word out. And this is just a box that'll be provided. We have a drop-off at a huge bin.
Well, tell them what the event is and what.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we are the Lions Club is collecting plastic lids, and there's a whole list of them that are posted on the Lee County beautiful website. No metal, and they need these to make a buddy bench for our own Beach Elementary School. And a buddy bench is a place if a child feels that someone is picking on them or doesn't have a friend. They sit down there, and that alerts the other children they need a friend.
And I was saying that I had been collecting, so to all my Facebook friends who were dropping off bags and bags of plastic caps, we did it for a school that I work at, and the bench it is really, really nice, but it takes a lot of these recyclable caps. So
we need 200 pounds, I believe, for a 6-foot bench.
Yes.
We have a big drop-off bin at the Chamber of Commerce
Okay.
on the island. Lee County, beautiful off-island, is going to be a drop-off. We're going to hopefully put one of these up at the library. And just since the word got out, I heard Pink Shell is going to collect.
nice.
And my goal is that restaurants, condo associations, anybody on the island, any business that can put a little container out for especially the water lids.
Right.
And we started it at the Tuna Skin Beach Cleanup last week.
Right.
I contacted them. They allowed me to sit there and pass out bags specifically for that. And we ended up with a shoebox full overflowing with caps. So it's a grassroots effort. I hope that maybe by the time school starts in September or August when they start,
August.
that we'll have enough caps to for them to make a bench.
So, Jan, I have to tell you this quick story about the caps. So I used to teach a class, a fitness class, and would tell everybody in the class that we needed caps because the wife was doing the cap collection for a bench. And I ran into somebody at the gym the other day, Ron, and he said, "Are you still collecting those caps?" This is months after I hadn't seen him. He had bags and bags at his house that he had been collecting. And I said to him, "No, they built the bench already, so I have to call him to see if he's held on to." He would constantly save the. And we just dropped them off, and it's. I have a feeling we'll be able to help you a lot because we have trained people to collect caps, many of them. So
That is awesome.
that's a great idea.
And can I mention our book sale?
Go right ahead.
So
Here.
this coming weekend, Saturday and Sunday from 9 to 2, the garage will be full of many thousands of used books, puzzles, CDs, DVDs, children's books, all kind of genres. And we welcome anybody to come out. The prices are great. And, it would be such an honor to Dr. Hummerding if we have the biggest, best sale ever, because he would want us to continue his vision, and that's what we volunteers are doing, the staff is doing, the Friends Board, as well as the Library Board. And we had a great leader, and we don't want him to be forgotten.
Awesome.
Now, I have to ask you this question, Jan. How's everybody at the library doing?
Every day it's a struggle, and I'll tell you why. Well, obviously you know why. But just when you think you've recovered somewhat, all the February people have arrived on the island. So the first time a returning patron comes in, you grieve with them.
Right.
And, Mitch, he's at the forefront. He's he's the greeter. And so they're the first ones to talk to him. And then they go up this, and it includes the volunteers. I was in the bookstore a couple days ago, and again, a patron was there, and the volunteer was going through the whole grieving process again.
Mm-hmm.
And this coming weekend at the book sale, because that's when the murder happened, it's going to be really, really difficult. But again, Pastor Rusty in the service said, and I love his words, remember how he lived, not how he died. And every day I really try to remind myself of that, and that helps me get through, but you have to remind yourself a lot of that.
And have you had a chance to talk to his family and see how they're doing?
Absolutely. I'm in contact with them regularly. I send them any column, anything that appears in the media. They're so appreciative. It's difficult for them to be so far away, so I try to keep them abreast of all the memorials, all the kind words that are being said. And we got together before they left and tried to knock off some thank you cards, and they're so appreciative, and they were so overwhelmed by the love and outpouring of words that they received while they were here.
Well, we wish you guys well and much success at the book sale this
Thank
weekend.
you.
And please come out and support them. If you can unload, load, and especially purchase,
Yes.
that would be fantastic. And we'll start collecting caps. Caps not for sale, caps for giving away.
Right.
All right, thank you so much
My
for
pleasure.
coming on.
Thanks for having
Thank
me.
you. Woo! All righty.
All right. I
You're
apologize
off
for getting the
camera.
name wrong. I apologize for getting the name wrong. Well, that's a good thing when
Yeah.
when
it's-
I'm off camera. We're getting all twisted up here and everything. So
She said she's been called worse.
no, I don't think so. Everybody loves Jan. Look at her. She's got a little wheelie cart there for her
She
broken
does.
leg. It's all decorated. What is that thing? Is
And
that an
she's-
ostrich hanging?
Tell you, at the Putt and Crawl,
Yeah.
my husband and I volunteered, and all the groups were coming back, and a woman had this, and I had been researching it, but we just hadn't gotten out to see which one would work best for me. So I told my husband, Ron, I said, ask her to come over. I want to try it out. So she brought it over, and she said, you can have it. And I said, what? She said, I'm really done with it. And I said, well, you're using it. And she said, no. She said, I broke my foot. I don't use it anymore, but the Putt and Crawl involves a lot of walking, so she didn't want her leg to swell up. Well, it was decorated because of the Putt and Crawl, and she said, I'll take the decorations off. And I said, oh, no, this is all me. I mean,
Oh yeah,
so
they
it's
recognize
a great
that.
conversation piece.
Yeah.
And it's fun, especially because of where we live.
Well, when do you get rid of that thing?
I go to the surgeon February 26th, hoping he'll say I can put weight on it. But for right now, I can't put any weight on it.
No more cookies for anybody.
No, they have to come pick them up.
All
Carry
right.
out only.
Delivering cookies. She broke her leg. It's not like she
Aw.
didn't slip on the ice or anything.
Well, I was watching the town council meeting, the video, and when you came on the car, it just did bring a little levity to the situation.
yeah,
and
yeah.
that's always a good thing.
And it does for me as well, knowing I have a broken leg, but I can look at this and put a smile on my face.
Thanks so much, Jan.
Thank you so
Thanks
much.
for everything you do. Everybody knows how much time you put in and dedication to the community, and we appreciate it very much that you take the time out of your busy life to spend it with us goofballs here on the beach.
And all that she does at the library.
Yeah.
So.
yeah. Awesome. She's
Thank
going to wheel
you.
away now, everybody, so stand back. She's got her little wheelie cart.
Well, that's allowed on the
Yeah.
on the street, right?
Well, who
It's
knows?
not a motorized
She gets a
motorized
ticket for
vehicle.
that. Who knows down here? I'm just kidding. No, it is
Jeez,
decorated
dear.
kind of cool. So we're gonna have Dr. Wayne Edson on shortly.
Okay.
I don't know where he's
He's here.
seated, but Jan's gonna help us out. You know, I'm
He's
not
coming over.
I'm not sure. I'll have to get some feedback from people if the first segment worked or not. I don't know if it was. I'm not. I'm out.
You mean the audio?
No,
or,
no. I know the
oh,
audio worked fine. I don't know. I don't. I'll
Okay.
have to get some evaluation on that from the
Get some feedback.
from the studio audience.
And here is your person.
Awesome. So
I
we'll
will
get back
scoot
to
up outta
Carla
here.
Pines coming up a little bit, and we're going to talk about a really cool event that she has going on at her place down the street. So Dr. Wayne Edson is joining me now, and Dr. Wayne is he was also at the council meeting on Monday and had some words for the council. He was the first person to speak after the sheriff made his presentation. And Dr. Wayne, first of all, thanks for coming on the show. We appreciate it. Tell us how long you've been living down here now.
I've been a full-time resident for about 7 years. I was a part-time resident since 1984.
And from where?
I was born and raised in Wisconsin, and I practiced in Illinois.
All righty. So you're a full-time resident now and retired?
Yep.
All right. And you were the first person to speak after the sheriff. So my first question for you is, what did you think of his presentation?
My initial response was his presentation was very well thought out, and he delivered it well. However, that quickly transgressed into disappointment because the entire thing was advertised. There was an opportunity for the sheriff to tell us everything that the sheriff's department is doing, and then an opportunity for the community to tell the sheriff's department what our concerns were. And as you said, I was the first person to speak, so I got up and walked to the microphone and then turned to address the sheriff and the sheriff's department.
And they were outside on TV.
They were gone.
Yeah. The first thing I thought obviously he wants to come down and make everybody feel like the community's being watched after, and the sheriff's there's clearly a bigger sheriff's present now. I mean, it's season and spring break is coming up, and we'll see what happens when it gets quieter or how many actually need down here. But I thought he did a great job coming through the side door and working the crowd, saying hello to everybody, shaking hands, and telling everybody how sorry he was about what happened, which is fine. It was fine. And then he made the presentation, and a couple of cliches he threw in there a few times. There's no I in team, and things like that. But
He is actually a politician.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you certainly got that out of the presentation. But so, are you saying that you don't buy what he pitched?
I think in his mind, everything he said was true and accurate. However, it's been my experience over the last 30 years or so that what the guy on the top of the pile thinks is happening at the bottom of the pile isn't necessarily true. And I don't think that the sheriff's comments or beliefs have actually filtered through to the rank and file that are actually driving sheriff's vehicles on this island.
Why do you say that? You don't.
Because of my personal interaction with the deputies on this island, they just seem to not care. And the sheriff seems genuinely to care and want a good policing effort done, but his underlings that are actually in charge of doing it, they haven't got the word. Or the sheriff's deputies we used to have on this island have now retired, and the new deputies don't have an idea of the concept of what it is to work with the community.
What do you think some of the things that they're missing?
Well, number one, in the last 2 interactions my family has had, 3 actually, with the sheriff's department, the response of the deputies is either, "What do you want me to do about it?" Well, the reason we call the sheriff is for you to tell us what you can do about it, and do something about it. Not to show up and say, "Meh, who cares? Nothing to do about it."
Was there a specific incident that that happened that you needed some assistance? I know you brought that up at the council meeting Monday. What was it?
I brought part of that up at the council meeting, but for instance, my two sons were walking home from dinner at 8 o'clock in the evening. A person accosted them verbally. They kept walking and said, "No, thank you."
Was it a homeless person or a tourist or?
It was not a homeless person. He was driving a Cadillac, late model.
Right.
My sons ignored him. Then they turned onto my street, and he got in his car, yelling and screaming, threatening to kill them. Actually drove off the roadway to try to hit them with his vehicle. One of my sons got on the phone with 911, took a video of the incident, called 911. They kept walking, trying to disengage. The guy was very aggressive. A deputy finally showed up and said, "Well, what do you want me to do?" My son said he's either obviously high or drunk. He shouldn't be driving, because after he missed us, he actually hit a mailbox, hit a child seat that was in the street, throwing it into the side of a guy's truck, putting a big dent in his truck. And the deputy said, "Well, what do you want me to do?" And my son said, "We gave you his license plate. We gave you a video, including a close-up of his face. I want you to go find this guy." And the deputy ran the license plate number and said, "Oh, he lives in Naples. What do you want me to do about it?" And that was, to our knowledge, the end of the incident. I was accosted by panhandlers who were very aggressive, walking home from Times Square, and I managed to extricate myself from the situation. There were two deputies talking to each other at the 7-Eleven. I went up to the deputies and said, "These two panhandlers are very aggressive." I was afraid that it was going to end in a physical altercation. They looked at me and said, "What do you want us to do about it?" And then continued their private conversation. So I went home. One of my neighbors, a couple doors down, had a trespasser. He called for a trespasser, and according to the sheriff, when you call, we'll give them a warning. If they don't listen to the warning, we will arrest them. So he called the sheriff about a trespasser. 3 hours later, a deputy called him on the phone and said, "Is your trespasser still there? I've been kind of busy." Well, I do understand that the sheriff's department has to prioritize their calls. But we do also expect, when two sheriff's deputies are standing talking about what they did Friday night, that they should interrupt that to go talk to an aggressive panhandler.
What do you think the solution is to the safety issue down here?
I think the solution is multi-level. Number one, over the last couple years, the sheriff's department has trained the residents, don't bother calling because we're not coming. The second half of the solution is to have the deputies on the street actually listen to the sheriff, where when the sheriff says we will respond, they buy into that half of the program.
What about, should this council here or the council that's elected look into their own police department? We hear some rumblings of that.
I think as a possibility going forward, that's something that should be investigated. However, as soon as we start looking at that remedy, it's a significantly large step that will require a lot of conversation in the community, and I don't think that's something that can be handled in a week's time, whereas having the deputies on the street actually responding to people, that could be done with one memo or one conversation. It could be done before lunchtime.
What is your opinion on the homeless situation on the beach? Have you seen it change? Have you seen it get worse? Or is it just elevated now because of what happened?
We have always had a homeless situation on the beach. And I would ask you or any of the people listening, if you found yourself in a situation where you couldn't afford to have a roof over your head, would you rather sleep in Fort Myers Beach or Toronto, Canada?
Oh, it's not a question. Yeah.
In the wintertime, of course you'd rather sleep on the beach, not up north. So we have always had a homeless problem. We always will have a homeless problem. A large portion of our homeless problem is not due to the economy. It's due to the fact that almost a generation ago now, as a society, we shut down all of our mental health facilities. Mm-hmm. Some people are homeless by choice, and they choose to be homeless. Other people are homeless because of economic reversals, and other people are homeless because of some type of mental help needed that they're not having addressed. We need to address the mental health aspects as a society, not as a town.
Do you think? Have you seen over the years that the folks that don't have a home become more aggressive, or is it been consistently the same, whatever it is?
I don't know of any statistics on this, but I do know, depending on where you are, in, for instance, the city of Chicago, a lot of the homeless are very aggressive, and I don't know why. Much more so than they are on this island. Most of the homeless people on this island are not that aggressive. However, when we do have an aggressive homeless person, I think the sheriff's department needs to be involved.
Do you think they're getting a bad rap because we had a serious incident and one person snapped? Apparently, do you think that they're getting targeted and getting a bad rap now?
I do not know all of the background information about the murderer. However, I hear rumors. I hear people talking like everyone else does, some of which may be true, some of which perhaps not. But when you have a situation where someone may have the potential to be violent, we need to look into that. Now, I understand the sheriff's department has a difficult tightrope to walk on because being homeless is not against the law.
Right.
However, once you step over the line from just being homeless to being a threat or a hazard to society, I believe then it is against the law and something can be done. Now, I really don't want to address any of the rumors that I've heard about how this could have perhaps been avoided. But I do think if any good can come from that tragic death, the good will be that as a community, we rise up and try to find solutions to the homeless, the panhandling, and figure out a way to coexist.
Last question before I let you go. The election's coming up in March. What do you think?
I'm a firm believer in our democratic system. I think the election's coming up in March. We have a number of different highly qualified candidates to look at. And personally, I don't have a horse in that race. I'm still evaluating all of our candidates for town council and trying to figure out which one I think will best serve our community.
Great way to avoid the answer. Thank you. I get it.
You're welcome.
Thanks for coming on, Doctor. I appreciate it very much.
No
Hope to have you
problem.
back again. And you shared some great information today. We really appreciate you coming down to the beach.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Dr. Wayne Edson, our third guest of the day. And we have Carla Pine that's going to be coming up in just a little bit. And watch your feet there. Oh, there we go. Come on down. to the beach. Fort Myers Beach is where we're going to be until 10 o'clock today. The weather is beautiful. The crowd is huge. It's a lovely day to come on down. I think that microphone got broken, so you might want to pick the other one up and turn up number 1 over there, and we'll be good to go. So who are you talking to over there? What's going on?
All right. Can you hear me now? Did I blow your ears out? No, we're talking to some friends of ours, and they bought some mugs. They wanted to buy shirts. I couldn't remember the price, so I lost the sale on that.
Goodness,
I
that's
know.
ridiculous that you can't remember the price. Just make something up.
10 or 15. I couldn't remember.
You're the co-CEO of the company.
Oh,
you
please!
Can't even
I
make
have
an executive
no,
decision like that.
It's clear I have no skin in this game.
Really?
Yeah, because you're always making the decisions without me, usurping my rules and regulations.
You don't even like that I have stuff to sell. You don't want stuff to sell here. So.
No, stuff to sell is okay because you're giving something. People are purchasing a product.
It's when I buy the signage and things like that to market the show that you don't like.
No, it's too much. And sometimes you go too crazy with the swag.
With the signs and the microphones, and the doctor broke the microphone, so hope he's got a nice big checking account. So listen, next week is going to be a big week also. We have our 3 guests already lined up. Liam Farrell's coming on to talk about the Shrimp Festival 5K. He's organized, I guess he's the organizer of the 5K. I see him posting stuff about that all the time. He's good on the social media.
Uh-huh.
Mary Louise is coming on to talk about the Community Foundation scholarships. And Shannon Orlandini will be back for her second appearance. I know you're going to want to interview her. She's going to do the talk about the high rolling on the beach
For the school?
I guess so. She's wicked involved in all the school stuff.
Well,
there,
she's PTO president, I believe.
Yes. So
So
that'll be next week, which is the 16th of February, and
that is my sister's birthday.
nice. Is she
Yeah.
listening today? Is she paying attention?
I don't
to
know.
the show
She's
today?
got the flu, unfortunately. So
She does.
Yes.
It's one thing or another with your
I know.
sister.
I know. The poor thing just got over major back surgery, and now she went back to work and immediately got the flu.
Wow. All right. So Carla Pine's going to join us now, and I know
Yay!
you're really going to want to do this interview because it's artsy-fartsy stuff, and that's not up my alley. So
Well,
Carla, come on down.
She's right behind you.
I
Why
know,
can't
she's
she
gonna
take
because
your
I got to
seat?
get the sign back in the picture
oh,
here. Dear.
my
There
Lord.
we go.
Come on in. Have a seat. We'll switch microphones.
Just pass it down
Just pass it on down.
and keep it close.
Yeah, otherwise he'll reach in and jam it up into your face.
I'm not going
Not
there.
so ceremoniously
No,
and not
no.
so gently.
No, he's not.
So welcome back. This is your
Thank
second
you. My
appearance.
second time. I'm no longer a virgin.
And now I get to speak with you. So I
Yay.
guess there is still
Right.
a first time
yes,
for everything,
there is.
right?
There is.
So I understand you're here to talk about one of the events you have coming up.
Correct.
One of the things you have to talk
Yeah,
about.
one
So
of the things.
fill us in on that.
February 26th and 27th, I have a very talented furniture painter coming in from San Antonio, Texas. Her name is Tracy Bellion. This is the first time I've been able to get her out of her state. Nice head.
Nice head, Ed.
And she has agreed to come to our beach and show us her talents and share them. Tracy's been painting furniture for 20 years before it was even a popular thing to do. And she's very talented. She's very gracious to share her talents because a lot of artists don't like to share the secrets. And
so
she is very gracious in doing this. She loves sharing what she does and teaching people how to do it. So she's coming in for 3 days, and she is going to grace us with her talents.
And so it's the show, or not the show, the course. It's like a course that she's going to be giving.
Right.
It's 2 days,
2
one
days.
night and
one
the day.
one afternoon.
Okay,
right.
so it's like the evening of.
The 26th is from 6 to 9, and the 27th is from 1 to 4. And
Wow.
the Women's Club has been very generous to let us use their location because we have a lot of people already signed up. It takes a lot of space. But we want a lot more. But we're not just doing the painting. We're going to be giving some money back.
Yes. And so are people going to be bringing their own furniture to do?
We want everybody to bring a small piece of furniture, something that they can carry. Yeah,
Yes,
that's the-
folks.
that's the
not
key.
an entire outdoor set.
Yeah, don't bring me a buffet. Don't bring me an armoire that's 6 feet tall that needs 9 men
A
to carry.
headboard.
Yeah,
Not-
yeah, something will fit in your front seat. Something that you can carry without any help, unless you know you have issues carrying anything. And something that's clean. And please don't bring wicker.
Okay.
Yeah,
Good to know.
and nice and clean. And we're going to start painting. We're going to be actually painting. It's going to be a
Well,
lot of fun.
I think that's fantastic. I can barely paint a stick figure, so it's really a gift and a talent.
It
and
truly is.
It's nice of her to come all the way down here
Yes,
and
it is.
share that with
It
everybody.
is very much so. But
And-
we have fun doing this. It's a lot of celebration together.
Well, good. And then the proceeds are going to.
Tracy is going to be painting 2 pieces of furniture
Okay.
while she's here, and one piece is going to have the proceeds are going to be going to the women's club, and the second piece will be going to the Havanese Rescue, and it's going to be a silent online auction.
Oh, okay.
So everybody can participate. I have had the pleasure of having several pieces of Tracy's furniture in my shop in the past, and her stuff commands big prices.
And remind everybody your shop.
It's the Salty Dog Gallery and Gifts, and we are owned by a beautiful little Havanese dog, and he's here.
Yes, I did. I got to meet him.
Yes.
He's super cute.
But I'm really involved with the Havanese Rescue. 3 weeks ago, we just rescued 62 out of a horrible, horrible mill in Missouri. And
62
and that was of 212.
out of 212.
The county closed down this horrible mill finally, but it's not a cheap thing to get involved in at all, because we actually end up having to buy these dogs from these horrible breeders to get them out of the cycle. So, people always say, why are your dogs so expensive? It's like, it costs money to get them back to health. We have to have fosters. We have to transport them. So there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes that people just don't realize.
Wow, yeah. I have a friend of mine who fosters locally, Miss Jen, and she probably has 7 of her own dogs plus that she just, you foster one and then all of a sudden you own one.
Right.
And
We call that foster failure.
yes,
Yeah.
and she has them all the time. And everyone who works at her clinic has adopted a dog, and she's really a big
Absolutely.
supporter of Gulf
Yeah.
Coast Humane Society.
Right.
So I really, it's a good cause no matter what the rescue
Right.
is.
If you're rescuing a dog, you're doing something good. Doesn't matter the breed, where it comes from. Absolutely.
Awesome. And so what else would you like to talk to us about today?
Well, I'm not talking politics today.
All right.
We're going to leave this on a positive note, and I would just like to see some of the people come out and support. We're trying to bring things to the beach that we don't see here on a regular basis. I do a lot of classes. I've been kind of lax in it this season. I've been a little busy with custom paint jobs, but I really like to bring some more classes. And, everybody's been doing the sip and paint, and we don't do that. We want
Right.
to do something different. And the really nice thing about it, there's so many seasonal people down here that don't have friends, and this is a way for them to make friends. And I have some ladies who come to every class that I do because it's how they made the friends.
Well, that's fantastic. So the classes so you teach some classes
Yes, I
as
do.
well.
Uh-huh. Tracy's taught me well.
Oh, I bet you're pretty good in your own right.
I try hard.
And so, again, people bring your furniture down, small items. I guess people could, I think I could handle like a tiny little frame around a mirror.
This is nothing to be afraid of. It's just paint. It is just paint. That's
No.
what I tell everybody.
I did one of those sip and paint.
Yeah, that's
shows.
a whole different.
Okay.
That's a whole different thing.
So it was so bad
Mm-hmm.
that the person who was doing the teaching came over and just took the brush and fixed it because it was flowers that looked like fingers of a hand.
Need a little help.
Oh, it's not good. That is
Yeah.
not where my talent.
This is so
lies.
different. I am not an artist in any stretch of the imagination, but give me a paintbrush and a piece of furniture, and I can make it into something. But I'm not drawing on it. I'm just painting and doing designs.
Listen, unless it's water balloons filled with paint and we're throwing them at something and we're going to call it art.
Have you seen the floor of my shop?
No, I haven't.
Well, it's got paint all over it.
That is perfect.
It is. But everybody can go on our Facebook at Salty Dog
Okay.
Gallery, and there is a link to sign up.
Okay.
And then also on my Facebook page or my
Website?
Thank you. That
You're
word,
welcome.
website. And there's a link on my website. The classes are $99 for 2 classes.
Okay.
If you do one, it's $65. I encourage, if you're going to do one, do both, because she is going to teach us so much. You will never get this much information from one person at one time that you will get. And it's just going to be a lot of fun, and probably be a little drinking and maybe a little eating, and
Wow. Well, that
So
now you've
Yeah.
totally ramped it up.
But we just can't take ourselves seriously. Linda Edson, whose husband was just on here, when she came to my shop many years ago, she never held a paintbrush. She comes to all my classes now, and she signed up for this one. So, don't be afraid. It's just paint.
It's just paint, folks.
Just paint.
Come on down. Doesn't matter how it turns out. It's
Right.
going back to your house. It's not going in her shop.
And for a small fee, we won't post it.
No pictures would be allowed.
Right, absolutely. But it's just fun and fellowship, and a bunch of women who want to be creative but really don't know how to focus it. And Tracy will teach us how to focus it.
Well, that sounds fantastic. So remind us of the dates again.
February 26th and 27th, 6 to 9 on Tuesday, 1 to 4 on Wednesday. And Tracy will be in town. She'll be in the shop. Come in and meet her, and she'll be in my shop painting, and I'm anxious for that too. Although my shop's very small, if we have a crowd, it'll be fun.
You'll make room.
We'll make room for everybody.
There's
So
room
come in
for
and join
everybody.
us. So
All right. Well, thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for joining us again
I'll be
today,
back
Miss
in-
Carla.
thank you.
All right. Here we go.
Thank you, Carla. Very nice. You
Please
are
come on
awesome on the
down.
radio. Wow. I was
Yeah,
wondering if you
it's-
guys were going to
what
let me
channel is
back
that
on.
Radio?
That's
what
funny.
frequency?
Nobody listens to radio anymore.
That is for sure.
Wow, she was awesome. She's perfect for you.
Yeah.
I mean, like as a co-host, if something ever happens to me. Like if you
And
run
that
me
is-
over with a trolley or
well,
something.
you keep it up.
Wow. Today has been interesting. I have to say I'm uncomfortable with the topic. It's out of my comfort zone to be talking about the homeless topic. It's just I'm so used to trying to snap a joke at somebody, and that's not the right time to
No,
do it.
that's-
And so
Nope.
I'm holding myself, I just feel like I did a crappy job. That's what, it's just a difficult thing. Like when you interview somebody, you go down to the church and you interview somebody, you can always sit there and edit all the stuff out where you sound like a goober. And I did a lot of that with the last interview.
I noticed you've been doing a lot of ums and ahs
Today?
today.
No, I'm wearing the headphones today so I can try and catch myself from doing it. Apparently I didn't.
No, you didn't.
Oh,
You didn't do
well,
a
forget the
great job of
headphones
it.
then. I won't be wearing them anymore. Do it with them
You
on,
look
do it
like
with
a
them off.
goofy.
Wow, I'm just saying it's just it's uncomfortable a little bit. I know it's got to be one of those things that you talk about, but
Well, any situation of people who are feeling or are marginalized is going to be an uncomfortable conversation, but they are conversations that need to be taken place so that solutions can be developed and things can get worked out. People can get the services that they need and that they want, and that the community
well, the
works
bottom
in
line is
concert.
it's never going to get worked out. I mean, what's going to happen to nothing is going to be different. People will still be without homes. The churches will still provide for them. What's going to be different? What could be different than that?
I think there can be some move towards making things better for all individuals, safer on the streets, and more services for folks that need them. And remember, I'm just quoting now and trying to accurately quote the statistics, where one of the interviews you had, the pastor was saying that, out of the percentage of people, 56 people that they estimate, 4 or 5% are truly homeless.
Mm-hmm.
So we're talking about small numbers. I think we can get some help in there and assist those folks.
Now, speaking of this topic that I'm uncomfortable with that I keep rambling on about, you're in the works with another interview with Tracy Galloway, who is in charge of the community cooperative, where
Yes, and they assist with God's Table. I think
Right. They're basically in charge of it, from what I
they're in
understand.
charge of it, and the church provides a spot. So I've been in contact with her via text, and we're going to try and get an interview at least recorded if she's unable to come down.
Yeah, you need to pick up a little more of the legwork on these shows. I mean, I'm doing all the work. I'm setting you up. Did I set you up this morning or what? You wake up.
Oh, you certainly set me up.
I wait. You go to bed early last night. I can't get back to
Here's
sleep.
the thing.
And then
I asked ask you to give me the information the night before. I don't want to get up at 4 in the morning and do it. I wanted to do it the night before, but you're not organized enough.
I'm not organized. Yeah, that's a joke. Uh-huh.
You wait till the very last minute to give me the information, and then you're buzzing my phone at dark 30. Are you up? Are you up? No, I would like to sleep in because
I told
stayed
you
up the night before doing my work.
Told you to listen to the Common Council meeting. I keep calling it the Common Council meeting. It's the Town Council meeting, and you'll see the doctor's comments.
I did.
And
I listened until midnight last night, and I saw both of them, but
Oh.
that is not who you didn't tell me
Oh.
in advance
who was coming?
who it was.
Well, sometimes I like it to be a surprise.
Well, surprise. It's been full of surprises today, folks. I can tell you that.
But you did a lovely job with the interview. You're so professional in your interviews. You know when you interview somebody, you're never snapping a joke at them. Never. Totally professional.
Well, thank you.
We're-
I have.
It's informative and entertaining. So you're going to also have to pick up
so
your
we're gonna go
side
there.
of the entertainment part
Yeah.
of it.
So, folks,
Uh-oh.
because we're on the Florida Podcast Network now, we had to come up with a
Oh, here we go.
description of the show. So first of all, let me say that he comes up with the description, then he falsely gives it to me for editing
Wait.
because he's really already given it to the person. So I spend my little time, and I rewrite it because his vocabulary not so
Oh,
great.
come on now. Enough is enough. Let me tell
So-
it the truth. You
No.
tell your version,
All right,
and
let
then
me
I'll
just
tell
get
the
the-
truth.
So he describes us, he and I, as a somewhat happily married couple. Now, that is a resounding hard no from me. I don't want to be categorized as a somewhat
Humor.
happily. It's not funny.
Well,
I said satirical. We provide satire. We're not somewhat happy. We're not exuberantly happy.
we're not?
No.
I'm exuberantly happy all the time.
Oh,
So
all right,
the
go
way the
ahead.
story really happened was
Yeah,
when
right.
Jemmy
Grain of salt, people.
asked us to provide the Florida Podcast Network, and again, from now on, you must refer to me as Mr. Worldwide. Not,
It's Florida-wide,
Okay.
you dingle.
she said we need a paragraph or a couple sentences explaining what your show is, which really, that sets you back right from the get-go because you're thinking, well, what the hell is our show about? Now we have to put it in writing. So I said to you, would you please do this? This was last week, okay? So the week goes on, then Wednesday rolls around. She says, I need the information or you're not going to be on the Florida Podcast Network. So I had to do it. So I had to sit there, try and be funny and informative and write it down at the same time. And that's what I came up with. And if
Well-
most people have a sense of humor, will understand that I was being facetious.
Please.
I was being humorous.
And you don't say that word right.
And then
but
all of a
anyways.
sudden you changed it. And I wasn't going to let that happen. I put all that time into it, and then you spend 5 minutes on it.
I know, no offense, but when you told me that you spent, what was it, an hour
I
and a
put some
half?
thought into it, wife. I put some extra thought into it.
Well,
you
you
didn't.
should have put a little more thought into it and figured somewhat happily was not a good description.
I think we should take a poll on that.
That's exactly
Most people
what I
that
was
are together
thinking.
are not even somewhat happily married. They're just going through the motions.
I think we should put up my description and your description, and people
All
can
right.
vote on it.
That's a great idea. Where are we putting it up? There's
put
no
it
trying
up
to
on
convince the
Facebook.
audience. Nobody's going to pay attention to that. So enough about us.
Okay.
The what was I going to say now?
See?
You've totally thrown me. The election is coming up. Yes, very important election. Is going to
forum?
be in March. And so there's a candidates night forum. All 4 candidates are going to be there on Monday
Told ya.
night. All 4.
Told you.
All 4
Told you.
of the candidates running for only 2 spots. That's Dennis Boback, Dan Allers, Rexanne Hossafras, and Ray Murphy. I love saying that name.
Who
And-
was nice enough to come down
Stop
this
by.
morning. Yes,
With
with
his-
his dog.
Yeah. And so it's interesting asking all the candidates what they think and asking some of the residents what they think off the record, because we're in the media now. And so they share that private information with us. I think it's a crapshoot. I have to be honest with you. I think it's a crapshoot. I wouldn't be surprised if any of them won.
Well, if
I wouldn't be surprised
if any of them won.
if any of the 4 won. They're all
Well-
working hard.
Here's the thing: 2 of them are going to win.
Yes, that's true. Very good, dear. Very good. 2 of them are going to win. Anyway, so we're having a candidates night for them. In this goofy show that we started, they asked us to be the mediators and the moderators for the show, which is going to be
Mediators.
Monday night starting at 6 o'clock at the Beach Baptist for, I guess, a little like a cocktail party-ish at 6. And then the big show starts at 6:30, and the Candidates Night Forum is going to be streamed live on the EITA website, Facebook page rather, and
Great.
they're sponsoring the event. So we thank Bev for inviting us to be part of that big event.
I've made promises and assurances that I'm gonna keep you reined in.
Oh, it's going to be totally professional. There's
All
no
right.
doubt about it. I'm going to ask the tough questions. You'll ask the softball, fluffy questions that'll make everybody feel good, and I'll make sure I ask the questions that everybody really wants to know about.
I'm gonna make you feel bad in a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the Shrimp Festival is almost here already in
Wow.
March.
I know.
So-
and I got to get my mom's ticket so she can get down
Yeah,
here. She's
can't wait
very
to see the
excited.
mom. It's always
Come
nice
down.
to see the mom.
Yep, we got to clean out that room.
I'll never forget the faceplant story.
Yeah,
We'll have to
well,
tell
save
that
that for
story
another
again
day.
someday. And one last thing I wanted to mention was this week we'll be checking in. Jillian and I will be checking in from Nashville.
Oh, that's right. I'm going to be alone.
Yes,
in the house.
our annual trek to Nashville. I'll be posting from the Ryman Theater where we go and see. I think we're going to see, let's see who's playing that day. Vince Gill is going to be there, and a bunch of the other ones. I can't remember their names,
I
but
don't really think
yeah,
anyone cares.
I think
about
they
your-
care. A hobnob with the stars.
Yeah.
Oh, and then we give away our awards because my day job is at a magazine, and we give away awards, and that's going to be given away at a special Amazon. They're pretty big. You ever hear of Jeff Bezos?
I have.
Look at the New York Post yesterday. That was an interesting cover about him. Did you see it?
I didn't. I'm actually working.
It said Bezos reveals pecker.
Wow.
Yeah. So look that one up, people. And what was that? What was the other thing I was going to mention about? Oh, we're giving away the awards, and Zach Brown is playing that night. Yeah, be hobnobbing with Zachster. Sing a little Zach Brown, dear. What do you know?
No.
You know any
But
Zach
we
Brown
went to
songs?
see him in concert.
That's right here in Southwest Florida.
Yeah.
It'll be a talking point for us to see when he's coming back again. What a
All
day
right,
today.
you're
What a
way
day. It's a lovely
overdue.
day. Yeah, we're busting out. We went into a little bit of overtime here. We're getting looked at with funny looks now. They want the table is what I think it is.
Yeah.
They're not looking over here because they need the table
We
here.
need the table. Make some money. Come on down to Pete's. It's a beautiful day. We'll
If
save
you-
a spot for you.
Right. If you have any questions for the candidates, you see the Facebook page is open. Put them in the box there, and we'll add them to our collection. We're happy to throw in some of your questions with our questions for Monday night. And remember to get out and learn who your candidates are. Your election, the biggest election ever on this beach, is taking place in March. So it's important that you learn who the candidates are. We appreciate all your feedback today. We appreciate Kenny's still here. You got one thing you want to say, Kenny?
Don't judge a book by its cover.
Yes.
Very
And
nice, Kenny. Thank you.
please go out and support the book sale at
That's
the
right.
library.
Thank you all so much for sticking with us. We went over by almost 10 minutes.
Yes.
Everything
Time
is
to
going
dance it out.
swimmingly. Have a nice day. Thanks to the Florida Podcast Network. Thanks to Kenny. Thanks to all our guests. And we will talk to you again in 1 week live from Pete's Time Out on Fort Myers Beach. Back to the studio now, everybody.
Man, thanks.
Oh, you're welcome.
No, I wish I would have known this was going on. We would have been.